Okay, hello everybody. I think this is the biggest crowd that I've ever talked to before. So I'm a little nervous, but thank you. So as Minister Duncan said, I am very interested in how the environment impacts human health. And I've worked for the last 5 years in Uganda and China, where I was constantly confronted by this terrible realization, which is that, the simple act of cooking a meal for one's family or heating one's home actually meant daily exposure to high levels of air pollution inside the home. And this air pollution is the result of inefficient burning of solid fuels. And solid fuels meaning wood or coal, and burning them inefficiently in open fires or traditional stoves. And so while the sources of pollution are indoors and much of the exposure is indoors, it does impact entire communities because air pollution can cross the indoor and outdoor boundary. So while indoor air pollution from solid fuel burning is mostly impacting populations in low and middle income countries, it is impacting communities in Canada as well, particularly rural and northern communities. And the scale of wood burning in Canada, particularly inefficient wood burning, is not insignificant. There's actually about 3 million people who use wood as a source of fuel, and it's one of the biggest contributors to our outdoor air pollution levels as well. Depending on where you live, it can be anywhere from 10 to 60%. So the reason why I'm interested in the health risks or just the risks of pollution from solid fuel burning is that it's harmful to human health. Globally, it contributes to about 2.6 million deaths each year, and it impacts our health in different ways. It impacts the respiratory system, it's linked to cardiovascular disease, even health impacts that you might not think off the top of your head, such as impaired cognitive functioning. But it also impacts the health of our climate, and it's linked to climate change. For example, black carbon is one type of pollutant that is released from inefficient burning of solid fuels. And when black carbon is emitted and then deposited on the surface of ice sheets or glaciers, it actually increases the melting process by absorbing more sunlight. So I think that tackling black carbon specifically is very important for Canada's Northern and Inuit populations who are already experiencing the most rapid and extreme changes to their traditional ways of life, their local environments as a result of climate change. So the good news is there are tested and effective solutions for reducing pollution from solid fuel burning. For example, you can install air filters inside people's homes to protect indoor environments, or you can actually improve the stoves that people are already using to burn solid fuels so that they burn them more cleanly and efficiently, and less air pollution is released. So given the climate and health impacts of pollution from indoor air pollution, I propose a proactive policy where wood smoke impacted communities in Canada are identified. And there are already tools that have been developed that leverage air pollution and monitoring sites in Canada to actually identify these communities, and then work with these communities to identify improved and certified wood burning stoves, as well as air filters as an intervention package that are subsidized or distributed freely to these communities. But I think that we really have to take a community-based approach. It has to be participatory, and implementers need to work with community members to determine what interventions are going to work where, what's effective, and what is most in line with local cooking needs and practices. And I think if I want you to take anything away from this talk, I think it's that I really wrote this policy proposal because I believe that cooking and heating should be something that sustains us and is healthy and not harming. So thank you.